Hi friends, it's been quite a while since I've made a video. My knee's doing much better, and because of the schedules of a wonderful holiday, Christmas and New Year's, I just haven't got back to it. But today I happen to have two grandkids. Come here, Logan. This is Logan. Say hi.
Hi.
And this is his big brother, Easton. He's got his shirt off because he's going to become my mannequin. I'm going to do some things that certainly has helped me as a mother and a grandmother. We have 10 children, 45 grandchildren, 9 great-grandchildren now, with a 10th one on the way. And when we were raising our children, it just was not normal for doctors' offices to be open during the holidays. We had to go to the ER. There wasn't urgent care, and it seemed the kids always got sick on the weekends. So I am a firm believer in medical science and going to the doctor and finding out what they have to say. I'm not giving any of these tips as an alternative to doctor's care. But it's getting harder and harder for us to get in sometimes because of COVID and other issues. And I'm also a firm believer that just like the Bible says, that God created the herbs for the use of man. And so I did lots of reading and was known as the witch doctor across the river. Now we don't live across the river. I just live in town, but my grandchildren still come and my children and say, Mom, what do I do about this? Because they can't get in instantly to a doctor. And oftentimes we have an opportunity to heal before we have to go, and both financially and physically get ourselves to the medical science. So the reason that Easton has his shirt off is because he was the specimen of health. Show him your muscles, bud. Actually, Logan said he didn't want to, and Easton was willing to do it for me. I'm going to show you some things that really help. How often do your grandchildren or your children get stomach aches? You don't know the cause of it. It might be something they ate, it might be gas, it might be constipation, it might be menstrual cramps, it might be all sorts of different issues. Well, this is an easy one, and it was taught to me by a doctor in my youth, and I've used it often, and even our teenage kids, when they grew up, would come and say, I don't feel well. Would you give me that tummy rub, Mom? So, Ethan, will you lay down? All the way down and just bend your knees over this, okay? So, Grandpa, if you'd stand right here, and it's what you're gonna do is you're going to go 3 times clockwise. You're gonna start right at the bottom of the sternum. I can tell he's ticklish. And see, here's where his ribs go, okay? So you're gonna start there, and you're gonna go 3 times clockwise, making small circles as you make a large circle. Go clear down to the pelvic bones, okay? Make this 3 times. You're not supposed to laugh, sweetheart. Now, when you do this, you're stimulating power or pressure points. You're stimulating their spleen, their kidneys, their small intestines, their large intestines. 3 times. I stopped. I started there, I stopped there. Then you go to the tummy button, and you're going to go counterclockwise 3 times, making a circle as you make these small circles. 1, 2, 3. and stop. Okay, that will cause, babies oftentimes are crying because they have gas that they can't pass, or sometimes even we have that. It'll stimulate the intestines. You may pass gas, they may be constipated. It helps stimulate their digestive juices and their gut juices to be able to oftentimes have a bowel movement. It also helps other issues. Well, somebody came to our door. I think you heard the doorbell. But I would like, there's a few more that I need a mannequin for, but I would like to address some of the things that we use quite regularly in our home that seems to avoid more serious issues. One I'm going to start with is I've done lots and lots of reading and studying, and it has worked for us. And that is the On Guard is a capsule that doTERRA puts out, and it covers a wide spectrum of bacterial infections. It also assists, and you see it's just an encapsulated oils, mixture of oils.
Virus or bacterial?
Bacterial. This is, On Guard is bacterial. You know how you go to the doctor and they say, oh, I'm sorry, you've got a viral infection. Antibiotics won't touch it. So go home and in 10 days you should feel better. Well, one thing that really interested me in essential oils was it says that if you'll put essential oils on your wrist or at the bottom of your feet, they can take a blood sample, and within a minute they'll find it within the bloodstream. And the reason that viral infections are not attacked by antibiotics is a viral infection can penetrate the cell wall. Our bodies are made up of cells. A bacterial infection attaches to the outside of a cell wall. And so antibiotics can only get the things that attach to the outside of the cell wall. And that is a bacterial infection, and that's why antibiotics works wonderful on bacterial infections, but doesn't touch viral infections. On Guard is a hot oil, as they call it. If you were to get an essential oil of On Guard, you put it on the skin and it may irritate or cause you some difficulty. I go online and get these. They're encapsulated also, so you can take them internally, and I get them on Amazon, and you could go to whatever site. I do think doTERRA now makes a On Guard encapsulation, and I do think that doTERRA is a very pure essential oil. I'm not advocating that you get doTERRA. I just know that's the one we use. Now, secondary. Quite often you come up with a sore throat issue. You don't know if it's strep, you don't know. So we'll be taking On Guard and oregano, and our throat still hurts. This sore throat drop made by NutraBio is an excellent sore throat drop. Some of my kids say they'd have to be on death's bed because they don't like the taste. It doesn't bother me at all, so that's up to you. But NutraBio also makes a cough relief, and it helps also. But I can tell you an alternative to this, and that is a cough medicine that you can make yourself, and it really, really works, is 2 tablespoons of fresh lemon juice, 2 tablespoons of honey, raw honey, 1 teaspoon of cayenne pepper. And you shake that up really good. And yes, it burns a little as it goes down, but it will help the throat and a cough. It will cut that nagging cough. Now, you're dealing with adults that can take cayenne. You're dealing with kids that wouldn't even think of it, and newborns that you wouldn't want to put cayenne in their mouth. Take some Vicks and put it on the bottom of their feet. Put socks on, adults also, and this will really help. And you can do that after they've gone to sleep, and that cough just keeps going all night long. Of course, I always used a vaporizer. I use an infuser now and use different essential oils. Remember, those are things that you can use. Once again, doTERRA, I showed you the tummy rub. They have a Digest-Zin capsule, and it's an encapsulation. And you can take that, and it really helps digestive issues, and it helps stomach issues. Here's one that my kids are sold on, and that is chickweed. Just before prom or a special occasion, you'd always get a zit on the end of your nose or in the middle of your forehead, it seemed like, as a teenager. They would use this for their acne medicine, and this is encapsulated also, but it's an herb, okay? Ground up chickweed, and it has extreme drawing power. We would use it, you'd take and empty out the capsule, put it in the palm of your hand, put a little bit of water and make a paste and put it on that acne. Or if you happen to have an embedded object in your hand, your foot, an extremity, if you happen to have a ingrown toenail with lots of infection that needs to be removed, a bolus of chickweed is absolutely a miracle, but it needs to be kept wet. So you take the pad of your bandage and moisten it, and then put it over your bolus that you have placed on your skin that you need to remove something. And chickweed is wonderful. I'm sure you've heard us talk about pine gum salve. I happen to make a pine gum salve called Adeline's Aid. When the kids need it, I just melt the pine gum salve, put chickweed in it, and then we have a drawing salve, and it is absolutely wonderful. I'm going to address one more and then hope that I can get another little mannequin of grandchild here, and that is charcoal. These are charcoal tablets. They come encapsulated. If you were out camping, I used to do lots with scouting, you could crush up the charcoal from your campfire. Charcoal is what is used in to distill water. It attracts and grabs on to giardia, other bacterial things that are done. I urged all Scoutmasters to have this in their first aid kit because it's wonderful for food poisoning. 3 of our granddaughters got food poisoning, they feel, They had gone out to eat someplace, the rest of the family didn't, and they had several issues. Came home, used this, and like I say, it attracts the bacteria. When you go to the restroom, your stool may be black, but it definitely works on food poisoning. It's something that's really important for you to keep in your medicine cabinet. I'm going to go ahead and do this without a mannequin, and that is Mullen. I told you we have a whole video on it. And Mullen is something, mullen leaf. It's called oil of mullen. If a child has an ear infection or ear pain, I use mullen and lobelia, tincture of lobelia. Lobelia is better for pain, mullen better for infections, but it will do that. If you have oil of mullen, you can also use mullen tea or the oil and be able to use it for any bronchial issues such as asthma, croup, inflammation. It helps to expel the mucus. Mullen leaf is what you make the tea with. But if you had a child that might not take it, you can put this under their tongue and it certainly helps. Lobelia, on the other hand, is something, if you had a child having an asthma attack and the bronchial tubes were closing, this at the back of their throat will instantly help be a bronchodilator. And lobelia helps with pain. Now, let's suppose that this is my mannequin and this is the backbone of a child or an adult. If you were to take lobelia and dribble a teeny bit down both sides of the spine and rub it in, it will instantly calm a distressed child, somebody having extreme pain, somebody having a panic attack. It truly helps, and it's not anything that's going to harm them. It's not anything like Ritalin or anything else that's going to, you get too much, it's a downer for them. You just put it down there. The other one I was going to get a mannequin for, and I'll use myself, and that is, most of us have dimples just about here at the top of our pelvic bones. You take your two thumbs like this, and if there's issues of diarrhea that you cannot stop, and you do not, you can take a child, and it's a pressure point, and a doctor taught me that on both sides. Here's the backbone and here's the pelvic bones. You take your hands, lay them on their tummy, and very, very firmly push and hold for 10 seconds. And then release. And you can do that 2 or 3 times. And sometimes it can be bacteria, it can be stomach issues, it can be you don't know what, but you don't want to give them something like Imodium that will constipate. This truly works, and it's very natural, and it was our doctor when I was a child that taught that, and I've been forever grateful, because both children and adults have had that pressure point application, and it works. I hope that a few of these things have helped you. I hope that it's something that you'll realize I'm not advocating at all, don't go to the doctor. But none of these, if applied or taken, will be something that would alter what a physician might give you. I hope you have a fun new year and that we can begin on the videos again. Thank you.